These little things, smaller than the tip of a pencil, are going to turn into pounds and pounds of tomatoes this summer in Zone 4, where we still have snow in May. If you're new to gardening or you've tried starting things from seeds before and it just kind of didn't turn out the way you'd hoped for, you are in the right place. This entire series of videos is just for you. I'm going to walk you through growing 12 vegetables from seed, step by step, crop by crop, all geared towards my zone, Minnesota, Zone 4. We're talking tomatoes, beans, cucumbers, lettuce, carrots, the whole lineup. But before we go crop to crop, we actually need this video. Think of this as your Zone 4 seed starting orientation. Soon you'll know exactly what you're doing and why so that you can feel more confident in your garden this summer.
So first, who is this series actually for? It's for anyone gardening in a cold climate. Zone 4, Zone 5, short seasons, late springs, unpredictable Mays. If that sounds like your life, this is your series. We're talking about gardens in Minnesota, the Dakotas, Wisconsin, Upper Michigan, the places where the growing season is precious because it's short, where we just can't toss tomato seeds in the ground in April and hope for the best. We have to be a little strategic. Growing from seed is one of the best strategies there is. You get more variety options than you'll ever find at a garden center. You save money, and honestly, it's just deeply satisfying. Starting a plant from almost nothing? That never gets old. You don't need a greenhouse like mine, although it is wonderful. You don't need a fancy setup. I'll show you exactly what you actually need, which is less than you think. Here's how I've laid out this whole series so you'll know what you need when you need it. I'm splitting everything into two big groups, cool season crops and warm season crops. This matters a lot in Zone 4. Cool season crops. Think lettuce, spinach, peas, carrots, beets, broccoli. These actually like chilly weather. They can go out early. Some of them even can handle a frost. We start some of these indoors or winter sow in milk jugs outside, and some we sow directly into the ground. Warm season crops. Tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, beans, squash. These need warmth. They will sit and sulk if you plant them in cold soil, and a frost will flat out kill them. So with these, we do our indoor seed starting, we harden them off, and we wait for the right moment. Here's the lineup of videos coming your way. Video 2, lettuce, spinach, and salad greens, the best place to start. Video 3, root crops, radishes, carrots, and beets. Video 4, peas, the first thing in the ground every spring. Video 5, brassicas, broccoli, cabbage, Brussels sprouts. Video 6, beans, bush and pole. Video 7, tomatoes, the big one. Video 8, peppers, totally doable in Zone 4, I promise. Video 9, cucumbers and zucchini. Video 10, winter squash and pumpkins. Video 11, potatoes, a very upper Midwest bonus video. Video 12, putting it all together into a real Zone 4 garden plan. You may want to bookmark this video if you're in Zone 4 so you can come back to it. It's your roadmap. Let's start with seed packets because they pack a lot of information onto a tiny little envelope. If you don't know what you're looking at, it can feel overwhelming. Let's decode them together. Days to maturity. This number tells you how long it takes from planting to harvest. Here's the catch though, for transplants, it usually means days from transplanting, not from seed. For direct sown crops like carrots, it's from germination. In Zone 4, this number is your best friend. If a tomato says 85 days and your frost-free window is about 110 days, those tomatoes will be producing late in August. Add shorter season varieties so you can have some earlier and then the large ones later. Some packets tell you to start seeds inside under lights before transplanting outdoors. Others say direct sow, meaning you put them straight into the ground. Some crops give you both options. The general rule for Zone 4, anything that needs a long season or hates cold soil, start indoors. Anything that grows fast or hates being transplanted, sow it right where it's going to grow. Hybrid seeds, often labeled F1, are crosses between two parent plants bred for things like disease resistance, uniformity, or high yield. They work great, but you can't save the seeds and grow the same plant next year. Open pollinated varieties, including heirlooms, will grow true from saved seed. If you want to eventually save your own seeds, start with open pollinated varieties. Neither is wrong, it just depends on what matters to you. You'll see letters after a variety name like V, F, N, T, A. These are disease resistances. V is verticillium wilt, F is fusarium wilt, and so on. Especially for tomatoes, these codes are well worth paying attention to. In Zone 4, where we're already pushing the season, you don't want disease cutting things short even earlier. Timing is the section I really want you to pay attention to because timing is everything in Zone 4. Our average late frost date is roughly early to mid-May, though it varies by location. You should know your specific last frost date. You can look it up for your zip code or check with your local extension office. Once you know that date, everything else is counted backwards from it. Here's a rough Zone 4 timeline. Late February to early March. Start onions and leeks. They grow slow. If you grow onions from seed, this is when you begin. Also, peppers. Peppers need 8 to 10 weeks of warm indoor growing before they're ready to go out. They should be started even before your tomatoes. I start mine in January, but I have a greenhouse to finish in. For home gardeners using grow lights and windows, this is a better starting time. Mid-March to early April, start your brassicas, broccoli, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, indoors. They should be started even before your tomatoes. Late March to early April, start tomatoes indoors. Classic mistake, starting tomatoes too early. Start 6 to 8 weeks before your last frost date. That's the sweet spot. I know it feels like forever when you're staring out during snowstorms, but a big leggy tomato seedling is actually harder to manage than a compact one. As soon as the soil can be worked, which is usually late April to early May, direct sow peas, spinach, lettuce, radishes, and beets. These are cold-tolerant champs. Even if a light frost sneaks in after you plant them, most will be totally fine. After last frost, mid-May and beyond, transplant your tomatoes, peppers, and brassica transplants. Direct sow beans, cucumbers, and squash once the soil has warmed up. Cold soil means slow germination and unhappy plants. We'll go over specific timing in every single crop video, but now you have the big picture. Let's talk about what you need to set up a seed starting space. And honestly, you don't need anything fancy. Light, this is the big one. A sunny south-facing window can work for some crops, but for tomatoes, peppers, and anything that needs to grow indoors for 8 or more weeks, you really want a dedicated light source. A simple shop light with a daylight spectrum LED bulb works great. You don't need to spend a ton on grow lights. Keep the light close, like 2 to 4 inches above your seedlings, and run it 14 to 16 hours a day. Many seeds germinate faster with bottom heat, especially peppers and tomatoes. A seedling heat mat is one of the most worthwhile small investments. I just found one on Marketplace for $10 that had never been used. Now that's a deal. You don't need it forever, just for germination. Once sprouts are up, most can come off the mat and should. Since I have a bunch of cats, mine resides on the top of the fridge. Standard 10-20 trays with cell inserts work great. I pot up to 4-inch and sometimes 6-inch pots as my plants get bigger. You can reuse trays for years. Watch for specials at the big box stores. I got new trays with clear cat paw resistant covers at half price in early January. This is a good tip for all seed starting. Use a proper seed starting mix, not garden soil or potting mix. Seed starting mix is fine textured, drains well, and doesn't compact. Garden soil in a tray is a recipe for disappointment. Biggest tip yet, label everything. You think you'll remember, you will not. I use simple wooden popsicle sticks with a permanent marker for some of mine. They are cheap, reliable, and break down in the compost when I'm done transplanting. Odd recycling confession time. I cut up old blinds for labels that are no longer useful for their given purpose. These labels don't break down nearly as fast, so for my amaryllis and other houseplants placed outside for the summer, these work great. Bottom watering, setting your tray in water so the mix soaks it up from below, is ideal for seedlings. It keeps the surface dry, which reduces damping off and encourages roots to grow downward. A shower sprayer on your kitchen faucet works really great also. It waters gently so seeds and delicate seedlings don't get washed away. See my affiliate links in the description to find heat mats and lighting choices to help you plan your seed starting setup. Let me save you from a few of the most common seed starting mistakes because I've made most of these myself. Starting too early. I know March feels unbearably far from spring in Zone 4, but if you start tomatoes in January, you're going to have giant root-bound leggy plants by the time you can actually get them outside. Don't make your tomatoes miserable. Stick to the timing calendar. Using the wrong soil. Garden soil from outside is often too heavy, can carry disease, and compacts in containers. Peat or coir potting mix is better, but still not ideal. Get actual seed starting mix. It makes a noticeable difference. Skipping hardening off. Hardening off is the process of gradually introducing your indoor seedlings to outdoor conditions, sun, wind, temperature swings. Skip this step and your pampered little seedlings can get sun scald or wind damage within hours. We'll talk about this in every transplant video, but start thinking about it now. Planting warm crops in cold soil. Beans, cucumbers, squash. They will just sit there in cold soil. They might even rot. Soil temperature matters just as much as air temperature. Aim for 60 degrees Fahrenheit or warmer for most warm season crops. Tomatoes prefer 65 degrees Fahrenheit. When in doubt, wait a little longer. Overwatering. Soggy seedlings are miserable seedlings. The goal is consistently moist, not wet. If you're not sure, wait. Pick up the tray. If it feels heavy, it has enough water. If it's light, water time.
Next up, we're going to start with one of the easiest crops to grow that builds your confidence as a gardener: lettuce, spinach, and salad greens. They're fast, they're forgiving, and you'll be harvesting them before you even have some of your other crops in. Drop a comment below. What's the first crop you want to start from seed? Until next time, start looking at those seeds because we need to get growing.